Welcome to Max Life Man, your essential YouTube channel, expertly led by our top expert, Dr. Sterling Thorne. Dr. Thorne and his top team from the prestigious Evergreen Peaks Institute bring years of dedicated research and hands-on experience in men's health. We deliver insightful, heartfelt podcasts designed to optimize your health and unlock your best self. Gentlemen, let me start with a truth most men never hear. After 60, your body is not finished. It is simply asking for wisdom. But here's the problem. Most men over 60 have been told two lies. The first lie, that masturbation, no matter how it's done, is always harmless. Do it as often as you like, as rough as you like, no consequences. The second lie, that prostate troubles, weaker erections, fading circulation, and the loss of confidence are just normal aging. Something you must accept in silence. Both are false, and believing them has quietly stolen vitality from millions of men. In reality, what happens after 60 is not fate, it's a result of choices, private habits, the way you rest or don't rest, the food you eat every morning. Even something as simple as the overlooked baking soda in your kitchen can play a role in supporting circulation, balancing your system, and helping you restore glow and confidence you thought was gone. I've seen it time and again in my practice. Men who thought they were broken, only to discover they were simply misinformed. And today I want to expose two truths at once. The 4 dangerous masturbation mistakes silently harming older men, and the power of a natural, everyday remedy, baking soda, that, when used wisely, can support prostate health, improve blood flow, and reignite confidence. But before we begin, I want you to do something small, so small it might feel almost silly. Hit that like button. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Doc, why should I like a video before I even hear the whole thing? I'll tell you why, because liking this video isn't about me, it's about you. When you tap that button, you're sending 2 signals. One to YouTube, show me more of this, show me more truth, show me more answers for men like me. And one to yourself. I am ready to stop ignoring and start restoring. I am ready to invest in my health. I am ready to change. And here's something I've seen happen over and over again in this community. The men who engage, the ones who take that simple step, are the ones who change. They're the ones who see energy return, confidence rise, and even joy come back into their lives in ways they didn't expect. So let me make you this promise. Every man who taps like today will not only support this message, but will also unlock something powerful in himself. Here is my blessing for you. May every man who taps like today find strength returning, circulation flowing, confidence rising, and even a surprising gift from life itself. May the universe bring you peace, health, and the very thing your heart has been quietly wishing for. It might sound mystical, but think about it. Every transformation begins with one action, one decision, one signal that says, I'm ready. And when you send that signal, doors open. So don't wait. Tap like now, try it, and watch how the smallest click can become the seed of the biggest change. Now let's return to the heart of this conversation. For decades, men over 60 have been living under silence. They wake up 3 times a night to urinate, and they tell themselves it's normal. They notice erections weaken, energy fade, memory blur, and they shrug it off as just age. They grip too hard, push too often, ignore recovery, and hope no one will notice. And meanwhile, their prostate inflames, their circulation weakens, their hormones flatline. But decline is not inevitable. Mistakes can be corrected. Habits can be retrained. And remedies, natural, simple, overlooked, can support your body's healing. Even something as humble as baking soda, when understood correctly, can help restore balance, reduce silent acidity in the body, and support healthier blood flow. It's not a miracle. It's not hype. It's physiology. And I want you to understand this. You are not broken. You are not finished. You are not doomed to fade quietly. You are simply missing the right map. That is what today is about. We are going to uncover why overdoing frequency can drain testosterone and energy. How ignoring prostate signals robs sleep and confidence. How the wrong technique damages sensitivity. Why neglecting recovery leaves you flat. And then we'll reveal the truth about one everyday remedy that almost no man considers, baking soda, and how it can support your circulation and confidence naturally. Gentlemen, this is not theory. This is not wishful thinking. This is 30 years of medicine, thousands of men's stories, and the wisdom of seeing what works. But let me circle back one more time. Don't just listen. Don't just sit quietly. Engage, type a word in the comments, balance if you know you've been pushing too hard. Yes, if you've been waking at night, sleep if you know you've neglected rest. When you engage, you discover something powerful. You are not alone. There are thousands of men here on the same journey. And when we stand together, change becomes easier. And once more, don't forget to hit that like button, because every man who does today is making a declaration. I choose wisdom. I choose health. I choose life. And may those men be blessed with energy, confidence, and the deep satisfaction of knowing they are not finished. They are only beginning again. So let's begin. Gentlemen, the very first mistake I want to shine a light on is the one nearly every older man falls into without realizing: overdoing frequency. For decades, you've been told the phrase, use it or lose it. The idea that the more often you keep active, the longer you'll preserve manhood. And maybe in your 20s or 30s, that logic had some truth. Your hormones surged like clockwork, your circulation reset in hours, your nerves were fresh and quick to rebound. But after 60, the rules change. What once kept you sharp now quietly drains you. Robert's story. I'll tell you about Robert, 65, a retired school teacher. He came into my office looking worn out. His words stuck with me. Doc, I thought if I kept doing it every day, I'd stay strong. But the more I do it, the weaker I feel. My erections are softer, my energy is flat, and my sleep is broken. Robert wasn't imagining things. What he didn't know was that by pushing too often, he was draining his body's reserves instead of preserving them. The hormonal cost. Here's what happens every time you climax. Testosterone dips. Prolactin rises, the hormone that makes you feel done. In young men, testosterone rebounds in hours, but in older men, prolactin lingers and testosterone takes days to climb back. Push again before that recovery, and you're not strengthening manhood, you're suppressing it. The nervous system reset. Your pelvic nerves fire intensely during release. They're like electrical wiring carrying maximum current. But afterward, they need cooling time. Push again too soon, and those nerves stay overworked and inflamed. The result? Numbness, weaker response, slower arousal. Many men blame age when really it's nerves that never had a chance to reset. Circulation and nitric oxide. Erections depend on nitric oxide, the molecule that opens blood vessels, but every climax depletes it. Younger men refill reserves in hours. Older men need days. Without rest, nitric oxide stays low and circulation weakens. That's why so many older men notice their erections grow thinner, shorter, or fade halfway. The science. A study in the International Journal of Impotence Research found that men over 60 who pushed frequency too high had lower testosterone, more fatigue, and greater risk of erectile dysfunction compared to men who allowed recovery. In other words, more wasn't better, it was worse. The battery metaphor. Think of your body as a rechargeable battery. At 20, you could drain it fully and recharge overnight. At 65, that same battery takes days to refill. If you keep draining before it's full, the charge gets weaker, and over time, the battery itself shrinks. That's exactly what happens when you overdo frequency after 60. The change, back to Robert. I asked him to cut back twice a week, no more. At first, he panicked. Doc, if I don't keep going, won't I lose it completely? But within a month, his energy lifted. Morning erections returned. His wife leaned in with a smile and told me, Doc, he's calmer, patient, even warmer again. It feels like I have my husband back. That's the power of balance, your turn. So let me ask you, gentlemen, are you pushing too hard out of fear, or are you willing to trust recovery and discover that less can actually mean more? If you know deep down you may be overdoing it, type the word balance in the comments, because admitting it is the first step to change. And you'll see, you're not alone. Thousands of men here are facing the same struggle. And before we continue, hit that like button. Not for me, but as a promise to yourself. A promise that you'll stop draining your battery and start protecting it. And here is my blessing. May every man who taps like today find stronger mornings, deeper rest, and confidence that returns in ways he didn't expect. Mistake #1 is about frequency. And once you correct it, you'll begin to feel strength returning. But there's another mistake that silently robs men of health every night, ignoring the signals of the prostate. And that's where we're headed next. Gentlemen, mistake #2 is one that steals peace from millions of older men, yet most never take it seriously. Ignoring the signals from your prostate. Let me ask you something simple, and I want you to answer honestly in the comments. Yes or no, did you wake up more than once last night to urinate? If you answered yes, your prostate is already speaking to you. If you answered no, you're fortunate, but stay alert because for most men over 60, those whispers eventually arrive. The whisper you can't ignore. Most men shrug it off. They laugh about the midnight shuffle to the bathroom. They tell themselves, well, I'm older now, it's normal. But gentlemen, listen carefully. It is not normal, and it is definitely not harmless. The prostate may be small, but it sits at the crossroads of two vital systems, urinary and reproductive. When it enlarges or inflames, it presses on the urethra like a hand squeezing a garden hose. The stream weakens. The bladder strains. You feel like you're never fully empty. And all the while, circulation slows, erections weaken, and sleep is shattered. Leonard's story. Take Leonard, 69, a retired accountant. He joked with me, "Doc, I don't need an alarm clock anymore. My bladder wakes me up every 2 hours." He thought it was funny, but his tests told a darker truth: significant prostate enlargement, rising kidney stress, and inflammation markers through the roof. What he dismissed as just aging was quietly damaging his health. And Leonard isn't alone. Studies from the Mayo Clinic confirm that untreated prostate enlargement doubles the risk of urinary tract infections, accelerates kidney strain, and worsens erectile dysfunction. That's not just inconvenience, that's decline. The body always warns first. Your body never fails to whisper before it screams. The whispers: waking up at night, weak or interrupted stream, dribbling afterward, pressure or discomfort in the lower belly. Ignore those whispers, and the screams will come: painful infections, blocked flow, and even irreversible erectile loss. What you can do? The good news is this: you can act early, hydrate smartly, water during the day, less in the evening. Eat prostate-friendly foods, tomatoes, pumpkin seeds, broccoli, cruciferous vegetables, all shown to reduce inflammation. Move daily. A short walk improves circulation to the pelvic floor. Balance your frequency. Overdoing it irritates the prostate. Respect recovery. When Leonard made these changes, cutting alcohol at night, shifting his diet, walking daily, something remarkable happened. 3 months later, he was sleeping 6 hours straight. His wife smiled and told me, "Doc, I finally rest through the night too. We both feel 20 years younger." Your turn, so let me ask you again, gentlemen, did you wake up last night more than once? Drop a simple yes or no in the comments. It's not weakness, it's wisdom, and you'll see how many men type the same. This is not just your battle, it's ours. And before we move on, tap that like button, because every man who does today is declaring, I will no longer ignore the whispers of my body. And here is my blessing for you. May those who like find peaceful nights, steady mornings, and the dignity of a body that supports them once again. Mistake #2 is ignoring prostate signals. Once you start listening, you gain back control. But there's another mistake just as destructive that hides in your very technique, the way you've trained your body over decades without realizing the damage. And that's where we're going next. Gentlemen, before I reveal mistake #5, let me read a comment I saw from one of you. Doc, so how long should I actually rest? 2 days? 3? A week? That's a fair question, and here's my answer. There is no one-size-fits-all. Some men rebound in 48 hours, others need 3 or 4 days. The real test isn't the calendar, it's your body. If you wake with stronger energy, clearer mood, and morning strength returning, you've given yourself enough time. If not, you're rushing. Recovery is measured in vitality, not hours. Now let's dive into mistake #5, relying on pills instead of fixing the root, the quick fix trap. When performance slips, most men reach for the pharmacy. A little blue pill, a stronger prescription, a supplement they saw in an ad. And yes, it can help. For a time, but here's the uncomfortable truth. Pills don't heal, they mask. They give the appearance of strength while your foundation continues to weaken. Thomas's story. Thomas, 71, walked into my clinic with a plastic bag full of medications. Doc, they worked for a while, now nothing. He thought the pills had failed him, but the truth, his body was failing beneath the pills, arteries clogged from years of poor diet, nerves dulled from rough habits, testosterone suppressed by chronic fatigue. Pills can amplify blood flow, but only if there's flow left to amplify, and in Thomas's case, there wasn't. The science. The Journal of Sexual Medicine reported that nearly 40% of older men who rely solely on medication find pills lose effectiveness over time. Not because the pill changes, but because the body beneath keeps declining. The battery and jumper cable metaphor. Think of it like this: pills are jumper cables. If your car battery is weak, jumper cables will spark the engine. But if you never recharge or replace the battery, eventually no cable in the world will help. Pills without lifestyle change are just sparks to a dying battery, rebuilding the root. So what does fixing the root look like? Circulation, walking daily, nitric oxide-rich foods, beets, spinach, pomegranate. Hormones, deep sleep. Resistance training, healthy fats. Nerves, pelvic floor work, gentler technique, longer recovery. Prostate, anti-inflammatory diet, hydration, regular checkups. When Thomas embraced these changes, something powerful happened. 6 months later, he told me, "Doc, I still keep the pill in the drawer, but I don't need it the way I used to. My body works again." That's the difference between dependence and freedom. Your move. So let me ask you, gentlemen, are you building your manhood on pills or on your body's natural strength? If you've ever felt trapped by prescriptions and want out, type freedom in the comments. And before we continue, hit that like button. Because every man who does is saying, I choose healing over hiding. I choose roots over shortcuts. And here is my blessing. May those who like today find freedom from dependence, stronger bodies, and mornings they can be proud of. Mistake #5 is trusting pills more than yourself. But once you see through the illusion, you realize the most powerful medicine isn't in a bottle, it's in your bed. And that leads us straight into mistake number 6. Forgetting the role of sleep. Gentlemen, before I reveal mistake number 6, let me read a comment one of you left on this channel. Doc, I eat right, I exercise, I've even cut back on sugar, but I'm still tired, still weak, still drained. What am I missing? That's the perfect setup for mistake number 6, forgetting the role of sleep. Sleep, not a luxury, but a medicine. Most men treat sleep like a soft option. Something they can cut short for a ball game, a late-night snack, or scrolling on their phone. But listen closely, sleep is not optional. It is the most powerful, natural anabolic drug your body produces. And when you neglect it, you're not just losing hours, you're losing hormones, circulation, and manhood itself. Hormones. Testosterone production peaks during deep sleep. That's when your body restores what was spent during the day. Harvard researchers found that men who slept fewer than 5 hours per night had testosterone levels equal to men 10-15 years older. Gentlemen, imagine aging a decade in one bad week of sleep. That's the cost. Circulation and blood flow. During deep sleep, your vessels repair themselves. Nitric oxide, the chemical that relaxes arteries and fuels erections, is replenished. Without sleep, your circulation stiffens. Morning erections fade. Daytime energy collapses before lunch. Nervous system reset. Your pelvic nerves are like finely tuned instruments. Sleep is when they reset, cool down, and regain sensitivity. Without rest, they stay frayed, leading to numbness, slow arousal, and weaker response. Cortisol, the silent enemy. Cutting sleep raises cortisol, the stress hormone. High cortisol equals belly fat, inflamed prostate, poor erections, and constant fatigue. It is the biochemical recipe for decline. Martin's story. Martin, 66, a retired electrician, thought he was doing everything right: diet, exercise, pelvic training. but his wife told me the truth. Doc, he's up until 1 a.m. every night watching late shows. That was the missing piece. We worked on one change, lights out by 10:30, a 10-minute walk after dinner, no screens in bed. 3 weeks later, Martin came back smiling. His energy returned, his memory sharpened, his mornings were strong again. His wife laughed. Doc, he's finally outpacing me. The hard truth. Gentlemen, lack of sleep is not harmless. It is poison, dripping slowly into every system you depend on. Your hormones, your nerves, your circulation, they all pay the price for late nights. So let me ask you directly, when was the last time you woke up truly refreshed? If you can't remember, that's your warning sign. What you can do tonight. Go to bed at the same time every night. Take a short walk after dinner to balance blood sugar. Keep your bedroom cool and dark. Avoid alcohol and screens before bed. Your move. If you know you've been neglecting sleep, type sleep in the comments. That single word is your pledge to reclaim your nights. And before we continue, tap that like button. Because every man who does today is saying, I will rest, I will heal, I will rise again. And here is my blessing. May those who find deeper nights, calmer minds, and stronger mornings than they've had in years. Mistake #6 is forgetting sleep. But once you reclaim it, you unlock the foundation of vitality. And from here, we must face another silent saboteur, a daily choice that quietly wrecks circulation and manhood, ignoring blood sugar control. Gentlemen, before I dive into mistake number 7, let me read a comment from one of you. Doc, I'm not overweight, I'm even skinny, so why should I worry about blood sugar? That's a powerful question, and it hits on the blind spot that so many men miss. Because here's the truth. Blood sugar problems don't just belong to the overweight. Even lean men can have dangerous spikes, hidden insulin resistance, and silent damage to circulation and nerves. Which brings us to mistake number 7, ignoring blood sugar control. Why blood sugar matters. Every time you eat processed sugar, soda, cookies, white bread, your glucose spikes. That spike scratches the inside of your arteries. Over years, those arteries stiffen and narrow. And when that happens, blood doesn't flow. Erections weaken, energy crashes, memory fogs. It's not about your waistline, it's about your bloodstream. David's story. David, 70, a retired steelworker, told me, Doc, the switch just doesn't flip anymore. He wasn't overweight, but his blood work revealed the truth. Fasting glucose high, A1C climbing, nerves already suffering. We made small but powerful changes, no desserts at night, a handful of walnuts and berries instead, 15-minute walks after meals, fewer refined carbs. 3 months later, his glucose stabilized, his circulation improved, his energy and intimacy returned. His words, Doc, I thought I was losing manhood. Turns out I was just feeding the wrong thing. The science. A 2013 Journal of Sexual Medicine study found that men with poor glucose control were nearly twice as likely to develop erectile dysfunction compared to men with stable blood sugar. That's not coincidence, that's cause and effect. Sugar doesn't just clog arteries. It inflames nerves, dulls sensitivity, lowers testosterone, and disrupts sleep. It's like rust in the pipes and static in the wires, eroding you quietly. What you can do: cut processed sugar, sodas, pastries, candy, add fiber, vegetables, beans, whole grains slow the spikes. Walk 10 minutes after meals, lowers sugar naturally. Sleep deeply, poor rest worsens insulin resistance. Stay hydrated, water keeps blood moving. Your move. So here's my question for you, what's worth more? 5 minutes of sweetness or years of strength, energy, and intimacy? If you're ready to take sugar seriously, type no sugar in the comments. And before we go further, hit that like button. Because every man who does today is declaring, I will not feed the enemy. I will protect my blood, my nerves, my manhood. And here's my blessing. May those who find freedom from cravings, sharper focus, and circulation strong enough to carry them through the years ahead. Mistake #7 is ignoring blood sugar. Fix it, and you protect your heart, your brain, your prostate, and your manhood. And now we arrive at the last truth in this journey. The final word every man needs to hear. You are not broken.